Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky Part 57. Oh man, last video we made it to the Royal Castle where we got to do our dinner party. We met with all the mayors again and some of the other important peeps. Got to learn a little bit more about Colonel Richard's grand plan, which involves the Duke formally taking over in place of the Queen. So we're gonna go try and see if we can find the Queen by talking to Head Maid Hilda. Man, we really have to find a way to get to see Her Majesty. First things first, we gotta talk to the Head Maid Hilda like we promised. She probably knows a way for us to speak directly to the Queen. I do not remember where she was. Who is this? Oh. Hi! This is gonna be an awkward conversation. Estelle and Joshua. This is our first opportunity to truly speak face to face, I believe. Last time we saw each other was right after Mayor Dalmor was arrested, wasn't it? I'm honestly surprised you remember us. I realized that we exchanged few words, and you made quite an impression on me. My curiosity was piqued, so I did a bit of checking up on you. I was quite surprised to learn that you were the children of Colonel Cassius. How'd you find that out? Please, understand, I'm not trying to show off the Intelligence Division capabilities. I'm greatly indebted to him from our time together in the army. Well, then why are you going against his wishes? Indeed, more than words can properly express. Might I persuade you to stay and while and talk? I've been hoping to speak with you two for quite some time now. I don't think we're that dumb enough to walk into your obvious trap, my dude. Pardon me, Colonel, but don't you have a meeting with His Grace? I don't mind being a bit late. Yes, if we're going to talk, why don't we use the lounge inside? I'll mix you up a couple of virgin cocktails. I'll prepare them, sir. No, that won't be necessary. I want you to go to His Grace and inform them that I'll be delayed. Yes, sir. Yo, why is she so salty? I don't know if I want to drink anything this dude prepares for us. What should we do? Okay, so we're gonna follow him. Okay, this is a little weird. I guess the question is, how much does he know that we know? Right? Like, does he know that we're onto him? I think he knows that we're onto him, right? Based on like the conversation he had after we won the championship, since it sounded like he wanted us to win anyway, I'm pretty sure that he knows that we know the things that we know. I was assigned to a mobile unit that was under his command, and since that time I found myself in his debt again and again, both personally and professionally. He did. And what did you think of him at the time? To put it simply, he was a hero, and a master swordsman to boot. No matter the scenario, he could find a way to handle any number of battlefronts in every direction. It wasn't just a matter of sheer tactics, he understood and could direct high-level strategy as well. Quite simply, he was a man without peer. If I didn't know any better, I'd say we were talking about two different people. So you were with our father during the 100 Days War? Yes, he was my CO. Even now, I can still vividly remember the excitement that filled me as we executed his plan that turned the war's tide. And any time I get to talking about those days, time just runs away with me. But this much I can tell you. If Cassius Bright had not been part of the Royal Army, Libra would now be part of the Erebonian Empire. No way. That's kind of hard to believe. Well, as a hero, he had a knack for doing unbelievable things. He left the army immediately after the war, declining even a medal from the Queen, so few know of his achievements. But inside the army, many soldiers still hold him up as the prime example of what a hero should be. He never said one word about this to me. Well, it's not really the kind of thing you tell your daughter about. It's not fair to criticize him for that. Hey, whose side are you on? Besides, why doesn't any of this shock you like it shocks me? Did you already know about all this? Well, I didn't know that he was Colonel Richard's superior officer. The rest I knew about, vaguely. Vaguely? You're an accomplice? An accomplice? It's not like he told me any of it, I just figured it out. A lot of it on my own. He told me he didn't feel it was something worth going out of his way to tell others about. I just don't get it. When he comes back, he is so in trouble. So, like, what is he doing? I think we kind of vaguely know that he's in the other countries doing something. Something about the other Bracer guilds are under attack in, like, Erebonia? I can't exactly remember. When I found out that your father was intending to leave the military, I desperately tried to stop him. But it seems that by leaving, he did what was best for himself after all. After losing his dear wife, maybe being with you was all that helped him recover. Colonel Richard. Now then, I thank you for taking the time to come here. I really can't keep the Duke waiting, so I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. Our apologies for making you so late. Not at all. You both have told me the one thing I wanted most to know. And thus I have no regrets. What? How's that again? I'm sure we'll have a chance to speak again soon. Cassius might even be with us then, to share in the stories. Okay. So I wonder if he was maybe trying to figure out if we were in contact with Cassius? Who was that man, and what has he done with Colonel Richard? What are you blabbing about now? It's weird to hear him talking about Dad that way. I wasn't expecting him to be so, well, nice. He doesn't seem all that villainous anyway. Even so, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that he's got something up his sleeve. But I think that he might have been playing nice just because he could get something out of it. He's an intelligence officer, so he probably thinks that fooling a couple of kids is as easy as can be. Don't you think that's going a little too far? You might be right. Let me be the one who's mistrustful of others. You should just follow your instincts and believe whatever you think is right. But just make sure you're prepared for anything. Don't let your guard down. I'd say a bracer's job is pretty much that, in fact. Thank you, Estelle. Thank you? What the heck are you thanking me for? Anyway, we need to go back and see Hilda. She's probably sick of waiting for us. So my guess is that he was probably trying to see if what we knew about Cassius to maybe tell if we were in contact. Since Cassius is probably like the one dude who can who's bad enough to stop Colonel Richard. Since apparently he's like the strongest man alive. So where are the maid quarters? If I was a maid, where would my quarters be? I think it's going to be one of these top rooms. I remember it didn't have beds. No. Because that's our room. That's the Dean. And this is the Libra dude. Castle blueprints are missing. That's suspicious. Can we check in here? Yeah, this is the Dean. And this is... that's the mayor. Yeah, we'll talk to the mayor. What do you got to say, my dude? Princess Claudia choosing a husband at her age? Events are unfolding so quickly. The maid quarters. I guess it could be. It may be not on the first floor. Maybe over this way. Okay, maybe not this way. I'll find them one of these days. Okay, there's some doors down here. This is where it has to be, right? There we go. Those like completely blended in the background of me. I didn't even notice them. Oh, there you are. I've been waiting for you. Yeah, really, we are late because that took me forever to find this place. Sorry about that. We kind of got caught by Colonel Richard. Did you now? He has some things to tell us about our dad. I don't think he has any idea what we're up to, though. Yeah, that letter of introduction did mention you were Mr. Cassius's children. I can understand at least some of how Colonel Richard feels. Yes, Estelle, how are you still surprised at this? Literally every single human being in the entire world has met Cassius, apparently. I'm told that he was a school friend of the late Princess Her Majesty's son. Late Prince? Princess Claudia's father. Yes, he was killed 15 years ago in a tragic shipwreck. So is that like a ship as in like a sailing ship or an airship? Like, you know. But lamenting what might have been is a fool's errand. Even in his fast approaching, we must make our preparations at once. Come in, Shea. Hey, aren't you Shea, right? You look well, Estelle and Joshua. I've been told of your current predicament. You won't find a more dependable child. She's a great help to us whenever the princess is in the castle. Princess Claudia? That shouldn't pose a problem, then. Change into our uniforms. Yo, are we dressing up as maids? Is it time for Joshua's cross-dressing adventures part 2? What? What do you mean? Estelle's gonna need to dress as one of the maids in order to get into the royal keep. A little playing with the hair and you'll blend right in. Oh, I get it. Uniforms don't allow for much in the way of personalization. That should be an ideal for sneaking in. Me in a maid's outfit. I've been wanting to try one on since we first met Lila. Cute, breezy, and easy to move in. Well, if our uniforms weren't easy to move in, they'd make cleaning much more difficult. Why so excited? I'm glad you're in high spirits, but you need to remember your manners in front of the Queen. You won't have me to lean on this time. Why not? You're changing too, aren't you? Pardon? I mean, he did play a princess during the play of the campus festival. Poor Joshua, man. He'll never live it down. Is there really that much of a difference between a fancy dress and a maid outfit? That's different. It was a play. I can't appear before Her Majesty in women's clothes. Oh, you'll be fine. It's not at all shameful or anything. You made such a gorgeous princess. Not this again. Cut the jokes, will you? Hilda, Shay, help me. Say something. Oh no. Anyone? I see. That shouldn't pose a problem. Don't you know that extra hairpiece designed for the princess? It's never been used, though. He has full dark hair, so it'd probably look good on him. Hey, hold on a second. Joshua has to quickly shave his head so he can avoid this fate. Wait a minute, I don't ever agree to changing. Alright, if I have to change, I can do it myself. Shay, you're not planning on using makeup too, are you? Kids these days. Oh, poor Joshua, man. Oh. Oh my god. Ta-da! What do you think? I think it suits her very well. Such a bright, active maid in training. After only just coming to the castle too, you certainly have me convinced. And with the hair down like that, no one will be any the wiser. And that one maid did say that the dude wanted to hire on more people. So that wouldn't even be that suspicious having two new, fresh faces around. Well, we already work as bracers, so, anyway. Come on, Joshua. Come on. Come on. Here, boy. No chance I can talk you out of this? None at all. You're just making this take longer. Fine. You're impossible. Moment of truth. Oh, they even gave him sparkles. Oh my god. I like how his hair is also like twice as long when he's in girl form. It's almost frightening how good that looks. Isn't it awesome? It looks better on him than it does on me, and I'm an actual girl. A bit of makeup would make all the difference in the world. Just please say you're done. Well, I suppose so. I'll show you the way to the royal keep. You need to make certain you watch me and learn how to Maid handles herself. Finally got to meet the Queen in person. Yeah, this is a do-or-die moment. I can't take him seriously with that fucking portrait, man. We just have to stay focused and get to the royal keep. It's hard to take you seriously in that outfit. Excuse me. This is your idea. I can't believe you got the nerve to pick on. Sorry. Don't get all mad. I'll treat you to some ice cream later. I'm not like you. I'm not obsessed with food. Hey, I'm not obsessed with food. We're out of time. Let's go to the Royal Keep. Whoa. We're the old lady now. Move over, Estelle. This game's got a new main character. Poor Joshua, man. So the Royal Keep. If I wanted to get to the Royal Keep, how would I do it? We want to get to the terrace, which is this way. This is not the way to the terrace. This is the way to the terrace. Let's see, so we're probably around 16 minutes, I think. So I had to cut the recording. I think we were at about 10 when I cut it, and we're at 7 now. Hilda, what business do you have with Her Majesty at this hour? I'm bringing some tea and spoons at her request. The current situation means that Her Majesty is denied the right to even go about her daily life if she wishes, after all. Such harsh words. Who are these maids with you? I don't recognize them. His Grace ordered me to hire on some additional staff for help. They've only just arrived at the castle today. Hey, you're pretty cute. Oh. Thank you, not you. Why do I get the feeling that we've met before? I thought he was actually going to like correct her and say that he has the hots for Joshua. You stare so hard at every young lady you see? I do hope you're not thinking any untoward thoughts. I'd rather that His Grace and the Colonel... rather think that the Grace and his Colonel would disapprove. The Grace would probably approve. The Colonel, he's probably asexual, man. All is well, then. Now then, will you please allow us to pass? I mean, shouldn't they think it's weird that you need 3 maids to deliver tea and spoons? Oh, that was intense. Thanks, Hilda, you're a real lifesaver. Are you gonna change your clothes? I'm okay as is. Boy clothes, now! And so ends Joshua's cross-dressing adventures. Well, for now at least. Well, I mean, yeah, there are 2 more games in this series, or there's actually like 83,000 games in this series, but 2 more direct sequels. By the way, Hilda, is this room what I think it is? Honestly, it's kind of one of the sad things about finishing this game is that like I kind of want to play the sequel, like now, but at the same time, after doing the full LP of this game, gonna be taking a big long break from Trails on the channel because I mean this LP is gonna end up being like what 60 something parts. Oh man. Unless the story really starts to pick up in the next, like, 2 videos. I heard the princess is really tending to the queen. Guess it's just gossip then? You'll have to ask Her Majesty for the full details. 2nd floor. Let's go. I beg your pardon, Your Majesty. I brought the 2 of them, 2 I spoke of before. This is Joshua and Estelle. Thank you kindly. By all means, enter. So let's see. Let's get our old lady chat going. I bid you welcome. My name is Alicia von I don't know how you say that. Oslis? Whatever. I am the 26th monarch of the nation of Libro. I'm Estelle Bright. I'm a junior bracer of the Bracer Guild. And I'm Joshua Bright of the same affiliation. It's a great honor to meet you, Your Majesty. Estelle and Joshua, I have truly been looking forward to meeting you too. I regret that I cannot offer you proper hospitality, but I have prepared some tea. Please, have some relax. I see, so Professor Russell asked you to bring me this information. A pitch-black orbment capable of negating all other orbital energies. And you say that the Colonel has acquired it? The Professor told us you might have some idea of what he intends to do with it. Can you tell us anything? I have but a vague idea, but I did not think that the Colonel even knew of it. Perhaps I am worrying about nothing, but even so. What is this vague idea you have? I suppose there's no harm in telling you. Roughly 10 years ago, a massive orbital reaction was detected beneath Gransel. Professor Russell was the individual who came to investigate. Did this happen in the vicinity of the sewers? No, far deeper underground than that, in fact. Professor Russell was under the impression that it might be a relic of the ancients that still functioned. Wow. So it was a bona fide artifact. Most artifacts I know of have lost their function, like the mechanisms on top of the tower. Or towers. And something like that is beneath Gransel? So what does that tell us about the gospel? Could it be used to halt the artifact's functions? Could it do that? Yes. However, we were unable to establish the nature of the artifact, or indeed why it was buried beneath the city. It's probably a fucking mech. You know? This game is all anime. You gotta have mechs and you gotta have school. We've already had our school stuff. It's gonna be a mech. Yeah, just because reasons. But it is beyond my imaginings how the Colonel could know of its existence. Professor Russell's research on it was kept strictly confidential and off the record. Honestly, just as I start to think that maybe the Colonel might be a slightly nicer guy than we were giving him credit for. But when someone's trying to stir up some trouble, that's when us bracers come in. We won't let him get away with whatever evil scheme he's trying to pull off. I expect no less from Cassie's daughter. You're acquainted... How many times are we gonna do the someone name drops Cassius and they're all like, "You knew him? Wow!" He was a friend of my late son's and a great savior to the nation. Even after he retired from the army, he would sometimes undertake requests for me. Really? I didn't know that. I imagine that there are many great things about him that you do not know, including the precise role he played in the war 10 years ago. I assume you have not been told. Nothing super detailed. Perhaps then that is the role that I am meant to play. Estelle and Joshua, will you indulge me by listening to an old story? It's no indulgence, Your Majesty. Flashback, boys! 10 years ago in the spring, a tragedy occurred in the southern reaches of the Erebonian Empire. Its cause is yet unknown, so that is something I must admit. The Empire used that event as pretext for the invasion of Liberl. So began the sad times that would be known as the 100 Days War. Just as the Empire made its declaration of war, a massive military force breached the Hakan Gate. In what seemed like scant moments, all of Liberl became occupied territory, save from Gransel. It is said that the invasion force was 3 times the size of the entire Roller Army. Reinforcements in Calvard were too late to stop their advance. It was but a matter of time before Gransel too would fall. But 2 months after the outbreak of hostilities, the war changed in a way that none could have imagined. Patrol airships had just been deployed and were used to recapture Liberl's checkpoints, severing the Imperial Army's communications. The Royal Army then set about recapturing the major regions one by one, using ships launched from Leiston Fortress. Zeiss, Rouen, Bose, Relent. With their supply lines severed, the Erebonian forces occupying each region were swiftly crushed. And the one behind this plan for a counter-offensive was none other than Colonel Cassius Bright. It was your father, who was General Morgan's right-hand man at the time, as well as Colonel Richard's superior officer. Afterward, with the intercession of the Bracers Guild and the Septian Church, the war was brought to the end. Or to an end. But it was at this time that Cassius lost what he treasured most in the world. Lena, your mother, Estelle. That clock tower was destroyed in the Imperial Army's vain attempts to hold back the counter-offensive. What followed, I'm sure you know. Cassius was not even able to be by his wife's side in her final moments. I had no idea. And he believed the military operation that he himself had planned effectively caused her death. Blaming himself, he left the military and took up the path of the Bracer. All to stay with the only one he had left, you. And this time, he swore he would be able to protect those he loved. That idiot. It wasn't his fault that Mom died. How could he even think that? You are correct. Given that all was lost in his service to his country, the responsibility falls upon me. And so I am sorry, Estelle. I failed to protect your mother. I have wished to apologize to you for a long time. But you don't need to apologize. You protected the peace of this country ever since the war ended. The peace that Dad and all the other soldiers who defended Liberal in the war fought so hard for. And the peace that Mom gave her life for, so I could live in it. You have nothing to be sorry for. You have a kind heart, and I'm grateful. It gladdens my heart to finally have met you in person. Now more than ever. However, that is why I do not wish you to put yourself in danger. I would like for you to remove yourself from any deal. Nope. Nada. Not even a possibility. What? Julia, Lieutenant Schwartz asked us to come help you. I am grateful for your willingness to do so. But if some tragedy were to befall you in Cassie's absence, I know no apology that could ever suffice. I only ask that you go back to your home in Roland and wait for your father's return. If I may, Your Majesty, the peace that Dad restored and that you protect, though it has held firm, now trembles like a leaf in the breeze. If the Colonel is able to use the gospel for whatever purpose he intends, and if he succeeds in making the Duke the new King of Liberal, then what will become of that peace? I only ask that you consider that. Right when we became junior bracers, we inherited a whole lot of work from Dad. After the Sky Pirate incident, we got that letter in the package and we've been running around creation ever since. It feels to us like our dad's been nudging us in the back this whole time. That's why I wanted to defend this peace. So that everyone we've met and everyone we care about can go on living secure and happy lives. Just like you and just like Mom and Dad, I'm doing this because this is what I believe is right, and I really want to see it through. It seems she was right about you. I too am ready. I would like for you two to carry my request to the Bracer Guild. I assume the she is talking about is probably Chloe, who was told maybe us about her? Or told her about us, possibly? We will do whatever you ask. My request is for the Bracer Guild to rescue those being held captive by the Intelligence Division. Amongst them is my granddaughter, Claudia. So the princess is being held captive somewhere. Yes. This coup d'etat started when I backed her successor to the throne. In other words, Duke Dunan was out of the running. Yes, though he is my nephew, he is possessed of a considerable number of character flaws. In brief, where he is lacking, my granddaughter shines. For the sake of this nation's future, I would have my granddaughter succeed me. Well, we don't actually know her, but I personally lean towards the idea that your judgment should really be trusted here. No matter the era, there will always be those who object strongly to a woman wielding political power. Not to mention the memory of the invasion by a larger power is still relatively fresh. Some of them will perceive the succession of 2 consecutive queens to be a sign of weakness. It's hardly surprising that such a notion has taken roots in the mind of some. So I was right. They still are, not too friendly to the whole women ruling idea. Some, including Colonel Richard, I presume. Claudia's pending succession to the throne caught him unawares. That, along with his passing this information to the Duke, is what led to this coup. This was all staged so that Liberal would become a strong military power, with the Colonel ruling from the shadows. So, I pretty much got the whole picture. So if Liberal became a militarized country, what would happen then? I don't know, we would probably invade the Empire, right? Or the Republic, whichever one's weaker. Orbital weaponry would be developed with the express intent of causing havoc on a massive scale. A wide-ranging policy of conscription would be adopted, and no doubt contracting Jaeger Corps would be made legal, which is not the case at present. I thought such proposals were born out of genuine love for his country. But I never agreed that they were the right course of action to take. The Royal Army is not all that protects this land. We have worked hard to maintain treaties with other countries. Defending a nation goes hand in hand with free cultural exchange and trade with all other nations, to the benefit of all. That sounds like a bunch of wussy talk to me. Invade them! Take him over! So he demanded that I abdicate the throne in exchange for Claudia's safe return. Many people have had family members taken to ensure that they would not dare oppose the colonel. But I am the queen, and I will not allow all that I love about my country to be destroyed simply because of blood ties. Still, she is my only granddaughter. I cannot simply allow her to die. We hear and comply with your request. We will see to it the princess is rescued from those who have imprisoned her. Have you any other requests? The gospel still has to be dealt with, and I don't think we should just leave you here. I appreciate your sentiment, but the present state of affairs is not contingent upon my freedom or imprisonment. The gospel shall continue to weigh heavily on my mind for a great many reasons. For my part, I will attempt to ascertain the colonel's true intentions with it. Ascertain is the way you say that word, by the way. Not ascertain. Super nice, but with a seriously strong will. Hope I'm even 1/10 of that cool when I get old. Cool. Did you actually just call the queen that? Still, she definitely has what it takes to govern a whole country. I really want to stop this coup thingy. It's definitely outside of Bracer jurisdiction. Well, first things first, we'll do whatever we can. I wonder if she's got any more tidbits she'd be willing to share. I'm kind of surprised she hasn't mentioned that Chloe is Claudia. I'm gonna feel really dumb if it's actually not Chloe. If I've been like pushing so hard for, you know, like saying, oh, it's so obvious, and then it ends up not being. I'm gonna be quite salty. Is it really that late? The queen spoke with us for a long time. If we stay any longer, it's apt to make the guards suspicious. Yo, it's very hard to deliver tea in spoons, okay? It's quite difficult. Are you going home for the day, Miss Hilda? Yes, I believe so. Just be sure not to do Her Majesty any further discourtesy. But please, relax. We're patriots to the core. That's good to hear. Now I believe we shall be on our way. I actually should have saved there, because we're at like 30-something minutes. By the way, ladies, I don't think we ever got your names. May we ask them? Lena, Shara, Dorothy. I mean, Lena makes sense. Isn't that a lovely name? Has a pleasant ring to it. Thank you very much. How about you? You can call me Karen. Karen? Karen? That's a very pretty name. You're too I don't like that expression Joshua has there. I'm rather fond of it myself. That's kind of interesting that he already had something pre-planned. I wonder if maybe since we went with Estelle's mother's name, if that's his mother's name. I think it's just about enough. I sense an ulterior motive at work. No, I mean, at least not from us. Please be safe on your way home. Okay, yeah, let's stop here before we get caught in another cutscene. I'm XGZ87. Stay tuned for the next part, and bye, guys.